Hey guys, it's Wednesday. It's time to make some dinner. Um, Tonight, well, I'm gonna make dinner either way. I'm glad you stopped by. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Glad to have you here. Welcome to my kitchen and my family. We do some goofy stuff sometimes, but mostly on this channel. If you found me, we do. Make sure you subscribe. We do all kinds of stuff. Tuesdays is kind of like open forum day. Wednesdays we cook dinner, and we're gonna try a few different things. And then Thursdays, sometimes we bake, sometimes we can some things. We just do some different things around the kitchen, and then sometimes I show off some woodworking projects, some gardening things going on. But tonight, anyhow, let's focus on tonight. We're gonna make a shepherd's pie. So you're saying. I do a lot of indoor cooking, not very light cooking most of the time. Some healthy stuff, but all this stuff is healthy because I use pretty much all natural ingredients. And sometimes we'll shoot in like a vegan recipe or a vegetarian recipe. But for the most part, they're just good family wholesome meals, either way it goes. So tonight, shepherd's pie. I got this recipe originally from Kent Rollins. He has a YouTube channel. I recommend you check it out. He does some of the best Southwestern style cooking. And he's got other things he cooks too, but the majority of his stuff is Southwestern or Tex-Mex style cooking. And he also has a website at kentrollins.com where, and I'm not getting paid to promote him by any means, but I do use some of his stuff. We use his Red River Ranch spice mix, spice blend, and this just happens to be the mesquite. I also I have the regular. It's absolutely amazing stuff. If you make anything, pretty much make anything dinner-wise, this goes with it. Now, that being said, this recipe, what we're about to make tonight, has that in it. You don't necessarily need it, though. I'll tell you some alternatives as we go. This is basically seasoning, salt, some garlic, and things like that. But anyhow, so shepherd's pie. To make the pie filling itself, we're going to go over the ingredients list. I got them written down. I write everything down. You should always write down your recipes. Don't try to remember them all from scratch. Eventually, or remember them all, you'll eventually run out of room in your brain, and you'll have too many recipes. Write it down. You'll always have it. So, first thing we need, 1 pound of ground beef. Now, I can jar my ground beef so that way it's quick and easy. This is kind of a quicker late night meal. So I have 1 pound of ground beef already done up and in a quart jar, so I don't have to do mine, but we'll be over at the stovetop, so that way, and pretending like we fry it up, you'll see. You need 2 carrots, 2 celery, 2 stalks of celery, and 1 onion. So now here's the thing with this. Here is my carrots, celery, and onion. The celery is kind of blended in with the onion. Let's say you don't want to, you don't have time to chop all that up. That's okay. You could just as easily, instead of using those 3 items, use a bag of frozen mixed vegetables. Same thing. And that saves you time, hence the quickness of a weeknight meal. So far, all you've done is brown up hamburger and grabbed a bag of frozen mixed vegetables. Eliminates that. You need 1 tablespoon of, I use fresh garlic. It's what I have written down right here. You could just as easily go buy, and you should buy, keep in your fridge, a jar of the minced garlic. Same thing. So then you need 2 cups. Ooh, that'd be a lot. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. 1 bag of corn, which, honestly, if you're going to use the frozen mixed vegetables, you probably don't need this. But in this recipe, I need 1 bag of corn. Frozen. And then you need 2 tablespoons of Red River Ranch. You don't need 2 tablespoons of Red River. You just want to put it into taste right here. So you're saying, Brian, I don't have any of that. Well, you should get on Kent's website and order some. It's not very expensive at all, and it's really, really good. We went from buying a bottle or 2 at a time to buying 3-pound packages. That's how much I recommend this stuff, and we use it. So, but you're going to need this to taste, or if you don't have this, You could just as easily throw in just a little bit of pepper and some seasoning salt. And that'll get you by. Or if there's, certain spices you like, throw those in. Remember, everything I show you here on this channel is like a base recipe. You add to it, make it your own. You suit what works for you and your family. That hands down. This is what works for me and my family, and it just happens to be pretty much his recipe. All right, so then we're also going to need a half a cup of beef broth. This is one thing I don't make myself. We don't eat enough beef parts that would have the marrow and stuff to make beef broth. So I use Better Than Bouillon, mix it up, and it's good to go. I have a quart jar of it in the fridge that I can just use at my will. All right, and then you're going to need mashed potatoes. I am making my own mashed potatoes, so using his recipe that goes with the shepherd pie. But you can use instant mashed potatoes if you want, or if you have a mashed potato recipe, run with it. This one requires 4 large russet potatoes, and that's actually the smallest of the 4 large that I had. 2 egg yolks, just the yolks, not the white, and a half a cup of whole milk or heavy cream, either way. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. Now this is for the mashed potatoes. You're going to need some salt, a teaspoon of salt and pepper, and a teaspoon of Red River Ranch. If you don't have that, once again, you could eliminate that from the potatoes, or you could just add a little bit of garlic powder and some seasoning salt, or just use seasoning salt and eliminate the regular salt. And then you need a cup of Parmesan cheese. Ours is fresh Parmesan, shredded, 1 cup. So that's what you need. I know it sounds like a lot of ingredients, but it's not that bad and it goes quick. All right, so we got all that. Here I am saying so again. Went through the ingredients list. Now let's hop on over to the, I'll show you the potatoes. I went ahead and got the potatoes boiled. If you're making your potatoes from scratch and not using an instant or anything like that, you just want to cut your potatoes up into small chunks and boil them down. Make sure you peel them. If you're using fresh carrots, you want to make sure you peel those also. And then your onion, you want to chop. Well, the onions, carrots, and celery, when you chop them up the size you like. I diced mine up. But you can chop those up to any size. When you boil your potatoes, cut them up small. That way they don't take long to boil down to make mashed potatoes. So let me get you over to the stovetop, and we'll get started on how to make the filling, and then we'll we'll go over making the potatoes. All right, I'll see you here in just 1 millisecond. All right, guys, we're back at the stovetop. I already got the hamburger in there. We're gonna pretend that I just browned this. I browned it. Is that even a word? That we just browned our ground beef. So we browned it. It was raw. It's in there. We browned it down. So now what we need to do is pretty much put all the other ingredients in here. Now we don't have to so much. So we're gonna put our carrots in there, our celery, and our onion. And we don't have to completely cook this down. I mean, we're only gonna let it all mingle for about 4 or 5 minutes. Why? Because we're gonna stick it in the oven. So when you very first start, as you're browning this hamburger, turn your oven on 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure you don't have anything in there. We've done that. I remember one time, this was a few years back, Abby, we're gonna add the garlic. Abby had put a Barbie doll in our old oven. And Chris wasn't aware that there was a Barbie doll in there. Although Abby was very synonymous about putting things in the oven. She would grab smoked sausage, hamburger, whatnot, out of the fridge. And, that was Worcestershire sauce, beef broth. And she would just randomly stick things in the oven. Well, the one time Chris doesn't check, there's a Barbie doll in the oven. Barbie got melted that day. And I'm here to tell you, I don't know if you've ever melted a Barbie doll in the oven, but they don't come out easy. And then our corn last. So we got our beef broth, our Worcestershire sauce, our garlic, our vegetables, all in there. And And then I gotta add some Red River Ranch, which I put back. Now, I'm gonna say, if you buy this stuff, but like I said, man, if you get an opportunity, order this stuff. KentRollins.com. It really is. It adds so much flavor to everything. I used to think he was crazy when he was promoting it on his channel, but he's right. Or if you don't have that, seasoning, salt, pepper, any spices you want. All right, we're gonna mix this together, and we're just gonna let it cook down for about 4 or 5 minutes. All right, we're gonna warm it up and start the blending and melting process. And then that way we're good to go. All right, let me move the camera back over to the counter and we'll talk potatoes. All right, I'll see you here in just 1 second. Okay, we're back to the counter. Did you miss me? I missed you. I know it was only a couple seconds. Well, not even a couple, like a millisecond for you, but it was like a lifetime for me. All right, so anyhow, mashed potatoes. These are really quick and easy. We got them boiled, right? So they're nice and soft. They're gonna mash real easy. This is just dumping it together. We're gonna put our egg yolks in there. I know you're thinking eggs. Trust me, it's good. Salt. Now the salt, I gave measurements, a teaspoon each, but that's really, it's up to you. That's the beauty of cooking. You put what you like in there. You put as much as you want in there. If that's too much salt, don't put that much salt in there. If you're trying to live a salt-free lifestyle, don't put any salt in there. It's okay. Remember, everything you cook, if you get a recipe, those are guidelines. It's a base. You want to suit your fancy with it. We put our salt, pepper, eggs. I put my Red River Ranch in there. If you don't have any Red River Ranch, which we just discussed, you can use seasoning salt. Just omit the regular salt. Put some seasoning salt in there, your pepper, and whatever some cayenne, some poultry seasoning if you like. Whatever you like. It's up to you. Make it your own. But this is how we like it. We put our half a cup of milk in there. I'm pretty sure I told you that. Now I'm gonna we'll review at the end. All right, and then our Parmesan cheese. If I didn't tell you in the ingredients list, you need a 1/4 cup of milk. Oh yeah, milk or heavy cream. I did tell you. I remember now. All right, so how you mix this together is completely up to you. I am using a hand mixer. You could also use just a potato masher and then mash the potatoes and then add all that stuff in. If you're using a mixer, start on low. If you have a food processor, you can put it in there. Like I said, or you can mash them by hand. All you need is, hold on, I'll show it to you. A professional grade potato masher. You can buy those for like $2-3 at any place that sells kitchen items. I think we got ours at Walmart. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and get these mixed, and when we come back, we'll be back over at the stove, and we'll take it from there. Alright, I'll see you in just 1 second. Alright, so we let this cook for about 4 or 5 minutes. We got our potatoes nice and mashed. Now, here, you have got to, hold on, try that. That is like the best mashed potato ever. I wish you could try it, because it is like the best mashed potato ever. Oh, amazing. Okay, so all we got left to do is 2 things. So this doesn't take long at all. We're going to pour the mashed potatoes on top of our hamburger mix. We've already got our oven preheated to 400 degrees. I know you're thinking, gosh, that's a lot of potatoes. And it is a lot of potatoes, and if you don't want that many potatoes, you don't use that many. I guess it just depends on you. But like I said, this is how we make it. Make it your own. You always make it right for you and your family, or just you if it's just you. It's however it works. Then we're going to spread this evenly. Get it on top of there. It's the thickest pie crust you ever seen in your life, ain't it? I know. And it's not going to turn out flaky. That was funny. I think it was funny at any rate. And if you didn't think it's funny, let me know, by the way. If that was hilarious, let me know. I'm all about comments. I know very rarely does anybody comment, but That's okay. That's okay. You know, I don't mind, but if you ever feel the need, I am always there to respond to your comments. My phone goes off if somebody comments, and I usually respond like pretty much right away. All right, so we put our potatoes on there. Got them on there nice and even. Now, I mean, there are some options here. You know, let's say you didn't like the Parmesan, you don't like Parmesan. You could mix another cheese in there, or you don't have to put any cheese in the potatoes at all. You could just simply sprinkle your favorite cheese over the top. Everything is cooked. All we're doing is putting it in the oven to help everything blend together. Excuse me. Blend together, and any frozen vegetables we used to heat up. That's it. No more, no less. So let's talk the oven for a second. Oh, I need to turn you so I can see your beautiful smile. There we are. There you are. Ah, looking good. And I don't mean me. I'm talking about you. All right, so we're going to put, like I said, we're going to put this in the oven. We're going to put it in for 20 minutes or until what you're looking for. Here's what you're looking for. I mean, you can just stick it in for 20 minutes and go. But we're looking for the tops of this potatoes to get, you know, a nice golden brown. Or as I heard on TV the other day, GBD, golden brown and delicious. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to put it in the oven, set the timer for 20 minutes because I know it works for me for this recipe. And when we come back, we'll take a look at it, and we're going to try some. Because I can already tell you, it's going to be amazing. But we're going to try it anyhow because I like to feed my face in front of you guys. All right, I'll see you here in just 1 second. All right, so we're back. Final moments. It's time to test it out. So here's what we ended up with. Is a wonderful shepherd's pie, nice and golden brown. Full of flavor. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, go ahead and you can use a baking pan or a casserole dish, like a 9x13, like my glass one that I have. You can use something like that also. You don't have to necessarily do it in a cast iron. We do it in a cast iron because we can. And personally, if you don't have cast iron, you should get some. It truly adds a good flavor to the food. So anyhow, that's all I'm going to say on that. You guys already know my opinion on cast iron. I think it's absolutely the best stuff ever. You know. Oh, a quick note: if you use a stock pot to boil or to mash your potatoes in, make sure it's not a Teflon coated pot. That's why I switched to the bowl. You don't want to run a beater in Teflon. It'll put that stuff in your mashed potatoes, and you don't want that. So anyhow, let's take some out. And we'll take a look at it. You can see what I got us into this week. This personally is one of our favorites. So, yeah, that being said. Go ahead and start my plate now. Those potatoes are amazing. They're so packed full of flavor. And you can say, there we are. Right there. There is our shepherd's pie. And you can say, like earlier I said something about, that's a lot of potatoes. And it is a fair amount of potatoes. But there's so much flavor that it doesn't overwhelm the dish. I mean, there's still a fair amount of meat. Now, you could change that up. You could do less potatoes, more meat. You know, I mean, however you want to work it. It's your world. You know, you make it for you. But I'm going to try some because I'm obligated to. So good. So good. Oh. Well worth a try. Yeah. But like I said, I knew it was going to be good. We've made this several times. It's one of our favorites. Sorry. I had to live in the moment. What you're looking to do is not put the camera on the floor, but it's an easy meal. I mean, you figure this video's about 20-25 minutes, and that in reality isn't much longer than you need to make this. If you went with frozen vegetables, all you'd have to do is brine your hamburger. You wouldn't have to cut anything up, but maybe an onion. You know, so you're brining your hamburger, you're cutting your onion up, use a small to medium onion. You're going to put the seasonings in it, whether it be the seasonings I use or whatever it is you like. You can use fresh vegetables or frozen vegetables, or well, I mean, however you want to do that. And then you can either use an instant potato if you want, or you can to make it go even quicker, or you can make your own potatoes if you've got the time. Even if you bought plain instant potatoes, you can still add everything to it. Maybe not the egg, but you could still add the Parmesan, the spices, all that to it as you heat it up. That way it's done. You're even golden. And I'm sure there's probably a way you could even put the egg in it. You just have to get it warmed up enough that you kill the potential salmonella in it. But so you could really, other than browning the hamburger and cutting the onion, everything else you can either buy in a bag or use instant. So it really won't take more than 15 minutes to put this together, and then that was 20 minutes in the oven, or until it's golden brown on top, how you like it, and it's done. I think this is an awesome weeknight meal. All right, well, give this a try. If you do, let me know. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you don't like it. I always say, if it tastes like crap or it tastes great, let me know. I would be curious to see what your opinion is of it. And that's it. I think that will be tonight's dinner. I'm going to go eat with the family and spend some time together. All right? I love you. Tell somebody else you love them. Make their day a whole lot better. All right? I'll talk to you later. Bye.